Happy Monday. This is Doug and Cindy with Help Me Help Mama 5cast today. And today we're talking about
Healthcare Directives.
Healthcare Directive. I talked a little bit about that a week ago. You may have seen a week ago. Cindy wasn't here that time, so she's got her part she wants to add to it. And I was out with a bush, so it was just the bush and I last time. And talked a little bit about healthcare power of attorneys, but this is an important topic. As we mentioned last time we said in 2 weeks it'll be now National Healthcare Decision Day. Well, now it's 1 week and it'll be National Healthcare Decision Day, and the National Healthcare Decision Day is an initiative that's a nationwide initiative to get people to do advanced directives and get them to have conversations about this. In the past, past years, traditionally people that did estate planning, if you think about estate planning, what do you think of? It's usually just like a will. I'm going to do a will that says who gets my stuff when I die. Well, a lot of times they'll figure that part out anyway. May not be like you'd want, but that's just who gets your stuff. Much more important is what happens to you while you're here on this planet. What do you want? How are things gonna go down, particularly if you have a disease like cancer or some sort of degenerative disease, or even if it's a car wreck and it happens suddenly, you need to have down in writing what you want. You need to have healthcare proxies designated to say who makes decisions. And a lot of these decisions need to be thought about, talked about with your family up front.
Okay. So let's unpack this in terms of us. At our age, we know what our health is, and our kids know. We have 3 children. Okay, so I think one of the things you need to realize is that now is very important, because if I get in the car to drive home this afternoon and I don't make it home all the way, I'm in a very serious car accident, I want my wishes to be carried out regarding my care if I can't speak up and say, this is what I want, this is what I don't want, because I know what I do not want. And for example, being hooked up to a life support. If there's no chance of me having a good quality of life, don't hook me up. But someone needs to know that in order to have the authority to make those decisions for me. It needs to be in writing. So
that's 2 parts. Someone needs to know that you need to personally have a conversation with someone.
And it's not easy to have this conversation.
No, and it needs to be in writing, because if it's just the conversation, it's not in writing, it doesn't help. So both parts.
Both parts. So let's unpack that just a little bit further. It's not easy to sit around and have conversations about, okay, now if I'm in a serious car accident, this is what I want, this is what I don't want. But we've been through this with our moms, both of us, having to make these very, very difficult, gut-wrenching decisions. So I think that's number one. You've got to name someone in your healthcare directives who has the strength to make these type of decisions, to withhold or not withhold life-sustaining treatment based on your wishes. It's difficult, isn't it? You had to make that decision.
It is also difficult, and it's not just, it has to be what you want. There's got to be a little bit of flexibility usually involved, because these things are rarely black and white. Got to be a lot of common sense involved. For example, I had a couple here in the office. They were sitting with me at this table several months ago, and I knew them from years past, and when they came in and were talking, I didn't notice any difference. Well, just in recent months, this guy had a serious health issue and almost died. Matter of fact, the doctors were trying their best to convince the wife to go ahead and unplug him, to disconnect life support, and they said, he can't make it. Well, there he was sitting there talking to me, and he said, I'm glad she didn't, listen to the doctor, didn't unplug me. But I don't know if it was like an intuitive sense that she had. I mean, they've been married for many, many years, and she just knew that it wasn't his time, that he wasn't about to die. And despite what the doctors were saying. So a lot of times you write down what you want, but you got to put your trust in your agent you appoint. Will they question the doctors? Will they get the information? Will they, take all of this in conjunction with what I have said and that I want or don't want and make a good decision? And, it's not, you do the best you can. I mean, and my mom declined, and her condition, and both of her moms there at the end, it was an obvious decision what needed to be done. Neither one of her moms wanted to be needlessly kept alive. Most people, I don't know of any, I've never heard anyone to say, I just want to be kept alive just for the heck of it, even if I'm clearly dying. Keep me alive anyway.
That may be what they want, but then the kids may say, "Oh, whatever you got to do, keep her alive." It may not have been what she wanted,
Right.
But it's a very emotional thing to go through. So, ask someone that has the strength to make that decision for you. And also, there's always new technology and new procedures,
Right.
Coming on board. So, you got to give them
Yes.
some flexibility, but tell them your wishes.
But get with an attorney, hopefully an elder law attorney in your state, to discuss this. There has been a lot written on this lately. The American Bar Association has issued some new information. There's been studies on this. There's initiatives to get the medical community and the legal community to work together on this, because there's an overlap. I mean, it's legal documents to put your wishes in place, but also obviously this is in the medical realm. You're in a hospital, and have to rely upon the input from the doctors. And there's several things. There's the healthcare powers of attorney. There may be a private living will, HIPAA authorizations. Some states have POLST, which is a initiative to get all of the healthcare documents, the legal documents, I guess made part of the medical records, where doctors can be aware of them and have everything available. Our state's adopted POLST, but it's still new, and seems like a lot of people don't know about it yet.
And it's called different things in different states.
Yes. So.
And there's DNR, depending on how close you are to the end of life. The point is, April 16th, National Healthcare Decision Day. If you don't have your health directives, please see an elder law attorney and get those drafted. Think really long and hard about who you're going to name as your healthcare agent in your directive, and tell them what you want. Have that discussion, not just once, but as you age, as your health changes, make sure they know what you want so you can have a good quality of life.
And if you're one of the kids watching this, and you're caregiver for your parent, if your parent still has capacity and is able to make a decision like this, you may want to have a conversation like this with them. Not the easiest conversation to have, but it's far better to have the conversation than not to have the conversation. And that's what this whole movement's about. Just have the conversation. And obviously, if documents need to be prepared, see your attorney to get the appropriate health care documents in place that conforms to your wishes. So I think that's about all we had to talk about today. This is a lot. So best wishes to you as you have these difficult conversations with family members. And thanks for watching today, and have a great rest of the week.
Thank you for being a caregiver. You're making a huge difference in someone's life.